Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another video. Now, there's an awful lot I want to cover in this video, so it's going to be a weeny bit longer than normal. I've been having a bit of a creative crisis, I guess. Feeling like everything I'm doing is a bit crap and just nothing's quite living up to what I want. And One Piece is very much like that. Now, One Piece is something I have followed for many years and tried to get into, tried to become passionate about. But with the 25 years and over 1,000 episodes, coming into it is extremely hard for a newbie, and I class myself very much as a newbie. So when I heard they were making a live action, I was a bit dubious, mainly because of Cowboy Bebop and how a lot of the Japanese properties have been, treated by us, Ghost in the Shell, etc. But I thought, oh god, I hope it's good because then I can actually get in. I knew the basis of the story. I'd seen the first season of the anime and a bit the second and third, and the little episodes here and there. But it's like I said, it's very hard to get into. Anyway, it was brilliant. It was brilliant. I loved it. I thought, Aniki Gouache, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He was fantastic as Luffy, and I loved it. Really, really loved it. Probably my favourite show of the year. Everything about it is brilliant. So how does this go into what I'm saying? I had to paint something that was going to inspire me and excite me, and this program excited me a lot, and it's made me go back and try to catch up on the cartoons. I'm not doing a very good job, but then I heard they're making a reboot of that, so it means I can come in again. I think it's great to present stuff for a new generation. They've been doing it with things like Turtles and He-Man for many, many, many years. So yeah, I'm not saying new generation, new eyes, because I am the right generation. Anyway, so I thought to myself, I want to paint a comic book painting. I want to make this look like it's come out of the comic book pages, not necessarily One Piece, but just in general. So that made me do two things. One, it made me simplify the painting. Two, it made me change the medium, and that was a big thing. To get the passion back for this, I picked a property I wanted to paint, a picture I thought was hilarious, of a program I was passionate about, and also I wanted to test myself with a new material. So normally I paint in acrylic and emulsion. Emulsion is too chalky and cracks, not the greatest material. Acrylic, depending on the brand, some is nice, some aren't, but they're always a bit glossy for me. So I looked into what Studio Ghibli and people like that used, and nearly all of them use gouache. So that's what I've done here. This is the first ever painting I have done in gouache. And now gouache, acrylic gouache, it's a very interesting paint. It can be a paint watered down like watercolor, thick. It can be like acrylic. It covers extremely well. You can cover up another color with another color really well, and it's flat. It doesn't have the depth of acrylic, so if you want a deep color that is different in different areas, this is no good for you. But I wanted this flat comic book anime look, so gouache was perfect. So I went out and bought a load of gouache. Liquitex is the one I chose. The stuff is not cheap, but I got the base colors and then some colors to do the skin tones, and well, that's what I've got here, and that's what you're seeing. This is in gouache. One big thing you can see is there's not a lot of reflection from the lights. I've got like video lights set up in the studio, and there's not the reflection coming off. This blue, actually I was low on gouache blue, so this base coat is acrylic, and you can automatically see the difference, see how it's going on differently. Anyway, so One Piece, yes. So I wanted to paint Luffy. I can't pronounce the guy's name. Anaki, pulling out his mouth, which is just really famous, fantastic shot from it, and just really sums up how usually when they do live action versions of cartoons or anime, they tone down the madness, the weirdness, the stuff that wouldn't translate. Well, this is rubbish. One Piece threw that out the freaking shop and said, "Here we go. We're going to put his face to the side. We're going to blow him up like a big balloon. We're going to have the clown," which I've completely forgotten his name. Oh, how embarrassing. You're all shouting it out. I'll put it on the screen when I remember it. Buggy the clown. And because I want this video, I want to talk about a lot, I put this little bit in the middle, which I thought you might like. So this is doing the line work. the line work is very important to me when it comes to paintings. It brings everything together, and it gives the look, the comic book look that I want, the cartoon look. I always reference Filmation a lot. That's He-Man, those type of cartoons. So this is me slowing down. You can actually just see what I'm doing. Here I am using the black gouache, and it just flows lovely, comes off the brush nicely. You can water it down, it doesn't get too spitty. If you find with some acrylic paints, they go, I always feel like you water them down sometimes and they go like gack, and then you read the manufacturer go, whoa, you should be mixing it with our 19-pound thinning. I sod off, I'll use water. So this thins down nicely. You can get nice straight lines. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just going over most of his face here, just therapeutically painting it. Like I say, this is a painting that needed to inspire me, needed to get me back in the studio, needed to make me want to paint again. It's not fully done that, but it's done a pretty good job. It's definitely inspired me when it came to using gouache, and I have really loved gouache. I am liking this. It's not a deviation in style, but simplifying. I'm going a bit too simple, and maybe I should start putting a bit more mess to it. Going back a few years, there's paintings I've done which have got a lot more drips and drops and splats. And people like that, but I went away from it because I kept feeling like it was a crutch. But that's good. I think that's good. You should always question yourself when you're doing art. So the intention of this painting, as I keep saying, is to inspire me and make me want to paint more. And it's done that because I really want to get in there the gouache, and I really want to paint more One Piece characters, especially Nami. She was fantastic in the live action. I really liked her. I kept thinking to myself, hey, that's Hayley Williams from Paramore. So I loved how they made her that look. I think she'll probably be the next one I paint if this goes down well. At the moment, unfortunately, I'm having to paint stuff that goes down well, and I hope people like this. Anyway, as you can see, I'm going here. I'm using a sign painter's brush. If you look at that brush, it's got a very long nib, bristles. That's the word. Long bristles on it. So that means if you can get your hand steady, you can get these really nice long paint lines, and also it holds a lot of paint and it releases it in a really good manner if you get the viscosity of the paint correct. So I recommend trying them. They are definitely very different to use compared to normal artist paint brushes. Very different, obviously, using flat artist paint brushes. So what else can I say? Because I think I've covered the bases. This is the gouache, the Luffy, trying to inspire me. Maybe I'll talk about the painting. That hand was difficult to draw. And as I was doing this paint, I realized that I'm trying to experiment and excite myself. I also picked him pulling out his mouth, which is it's not a natural pose. It's a pose that is so comic book and so cartoon that when you try to translate it into real life, it's very difficult. They did a great job. But when it came to doing the painting, I was suddenly thinking, oh my God, hang on, where would the stretch be if you're pulling out your face out here? So I had to use a lot of reference photographs. And like I say, the hand, he had a really wicked movement on his hand there, like it's like a claw. So it was quite difficult to draw, but actually getting the lines and the form were just beautiful. I loved it. And of course, now let's talk about the straw hat. The straw hat, I repainted that a couple of times, you would have seen earlier on. The straw hat is iconic, which is brilliant. I just love how a straw hat is iconic. When you think of the iconic things from pop culture, especially Western pop culture, He-Man, Thundercats, Turtles, Transformers, Power Rangers, that's multicultural. The iconic things are nearly all weapons. Sword of Omens. I guess the most delicate would be maybe Harry Potter with the invisibility cloak, but you'd still probably think of the wand and the glasses more. This hat, it's ridiculous. It's a hat in England. If you see this hat on someone, it's an old man who's doing bowls. It's a old man who's out in the sun too much. Obviously in England you don't see straw hats that much because we don't have much sun. So it's just wicked. It was a great thing to paint, and you can really see the paint come together here. It's just so therapeutic watching this painting. It's reminded me how much I enjoyed painting it. I really did, especially this part when I could just go in and do that finishing touch. You know, when you do a finishing touch to something that you go, that's it. Hours and hours of work just to get that one line that just makes it perfect. The background, I was going to put the ship in there, but I decided against it just because I was getting a bit busy. Just did a nice blue sky, which when I think of One Piece, when I think of cartoons and computer games of the 90s, that sort of sky blue colour is iconic. You see it everywhere. So I really wanted to have this bright feel to it, which again is a really good thing about One Piece. And again, the live action, they kept that brightness, that kookiness to it, which they haven't done with other properties. When I think of maybe like Avatar, for example, that awful, god awful film they did. Oh, let's talk about the hair. For some reason, I painted the hair blue. I've been painting a lot of hair blue recently, and I don't know why I painted it blue and left it blue for so long. And then near the end, I suddenly realised, hang on, let's paint this the correct colour. So anyway, we're back into the speeded up footage. I can't remember what I was saying. They made Avatar dark and moody, and it shouldn't have been. It should have been bright and great. And God, I love Avatar. Anyway, Last Airbender, not that awful blue thing, which I just despise. So we're going in with our final medium, which is the Posca pens. Just to give in detail, to put in cross-hatching, again, that's comic books, not referencing One Piece. That's definitely more referencing the comic books I grew up with: X-Men, Spider-Man of the 90s, Jim Lee, McFarlane, lots of cross-hatching. Just highlighting up that wicked straw hat, and getting to the end of this painting. I loved it. I loved doing this painting. I loved the process I went through. I loved using a new material, mixing a new material. I love painting a weird like body movement, and everything about it was really therapeutic. I've said that already, but there was something about it that made me fall in love with painting things I love again. Hopefully this will be popular, and then I can do more of them, because that's unfortunately how it goes at the moment. You have to mark yourself by popularity on a post or on a painting, and it sucks that you got to do that. And you kind of tell yourself it doesn't matter, but it does. And I a while ago I said to myself, I'm going to stop asking people to subscribe to my videos. And since I did that, no one ever subscribed. So I will say, please subscribe to my channel. It mean a lot to me. I'll put some of the birds in the background. I don't know if these are specific birds from One Piece, kind of like seagulls. So I thought they looked quite cool, just to fill that gap. There you go. I was just showing off the gouache there. So here he is. Luffy, Inaki Goldie, if that's how you say his name. One Piece painting, gouache, on canvas. A painting that I'm hoping has saved my soul when it comes to being inspired and loving painting again. Ironically, I'm recording this voiceover instead of painting. Enjoy. And I'm going to have to start saying again, please subscribe, like, and if you got to here, just leave a comment down below. Anything in the world. It can be stupid, it can be anything. Just, go.